invited me to be a lecturer for the Tombaugh Club meeting. And I checked the list of previous lecturers, and it's an impressive list of people and a lot of interesting subjects. I'm honored to have the opportunity to be a presenter and be added to the list of the Tombaugh Lecture Series. Using the mobile devices for a solar eclipse timer app was a game changer, because now I could use the ability to geolocate and get accurate coordinates. And then, since the mobile device is a great computer, you could put the formula for contact times on the device. And because you had flexibility in programming, you could take your coordinates from that part of the device and plug them in to the formula to calculate contact times. You had the ability to custom make a user interface so you can have some logical control of everything. And then with the power of programming of these devices, you could link everything to the device's clock. You could adjust for time zones. You can make C1 to C4 a linear timeline. You can put audio files in it, and then you can link the audio files to the countdowns and observation announcements on the timeline, and of course have data saving and other functions. So I'm going to do a little demonstration of the app just so you kind of see it work. And I've cut this down a lot, and I'll narrate it a little bit. It's ready for 2004. And I also wanted to say in 2019, I released this in a fully internationalized Spanish version. So if somebody has a phone where the default language is Spanish, they get taken to the Spanish app stores and they download a Spanish version of this app, which has all the text in Spanish and even the announcements in Spanish. So I'm going to play this little video. I hope it goes smoothly. So when you open the app, you get the home screen, and you have to choose an Eclipse to time. So there's a list of them. The Eclipse data sets are $1.99. So it's $1.99 to unlock the data set for 24. And then what happens is you get taken to the GPS data screen. Now, the GPS data can either be automatic, or there's 3 little buttons where you can get your data. You can get your GPS location. You can keep on tapping this button even if you're driving around in your car, and it will constantly update the coordinates. And then it plugs those coordinates into the app, and it calculates your contact times based on the coordinates. So once you get your contact times, they're in UT here, they're calculated in UT, but when you load them into the main timers, that's where it makes the time zone adjustment for what your phone is in terms of its time zone. It confirms the eclipse that you're timing, and it calculates the totality duration. And at this point, the app is armed. It's going to play announcements. You can also adjust the times so that at C2 and C3, if you have to make some lunar limb adjustments because of your position on the path, you could add or subtract a few seconds to make the lunar limb adjustments. And then you have the saving eclipse function. So once you have your eclipse loaded, you can go to the Save Eclipse data saving function and put in a file name. And then that file name goes to a list in the app. And then once you open up that list, you'll see it in the bottom here, all of the local circumstances for that observing position are automatically saved. So your contact times, your coordinates, your address, and the totality duration is saved. Now, one of the benefits of this is if you're eclipse chasing because of weather on eclipse day, and you end up in a position where you didn't plan to be, you can very easily save your position in this data file saving very easily, because all of the main information is automatically saved for you. The other way it helps you practice is if you're going to have multiple eclipse sites pre-planned, you can put your multiple eclipse sites in here and kind of look at the data and review what you think you're going to do. So it's helpful to have a data saving function. The other thing I'm really proud of in this app is something called the partial phase image sequence calculator. Now, what this does, if you're a novice and you don't want to program an intervalometer, this portion of the app takes your first through second contact times and divides the clock times into 10 equal segments. And then it takes the third to fourth contact time duration and divides that into 10 equal segments. So if you take a picture at each of these times, you will get a perfect sequence of the eclipse in the sky, 20 perfectly balanced images of the partial phases without having to use an intervalometer. So it's an easy way for a novice to get an eclipse sequence. You always have to go to the main stop button and stop the timer if you're playing with the app, because this app is not date specific. So if you're playing with the app in the morning and you go to work, when eclipse time happens, it's going to start playing the announcement. So you have to stop it. And the one other really interesting feature of the app is this little part of the app where it plays a movie of my 2017 observing site. But the observing site is then synchronized to the timing functions of the app. So you can hear how the app is going to help you during the crunch time of totality. The totality in this movie is predetermined to be 2 minutes. And so all of the announcements happen in 2 minutes. Observe for shadow bands. So that's a 60-second call to observe for shadow bands. On camera filters. A reminder for camera filters. 20, remove camera filters. There were a lot of people in 2017 who forgot to remove their camera filters. 2, 1, glasses off, glasses off. Tells observers when to take their glasses off at C2. The max eclipse call is very important. In 20 seconds. Getting ready for third contact. Plus 15, replace camera filter. And then it tells you to replace camera filters. 5, observe for shadow band. And then shadow band announcements again. So it's a really helpful practice section. And the way you can use this is you can set up your gear in your living room and practice your photography routine before the eclipse under time pressure. And if you play it loud, you have the crowd noise in the back kind of distracting you too. And you'll see how the app will talk you through the eclipse. One of the things that people forget to do in preparation for eclipse photography is to practice where you're going to put your solar filters when you take them off, because you have to know when you take it off where you're going to put it so you don't bump into your gear, and at third contact how you're going to pick it up and put it back on your gear. So it's important to practice this, and this little app will help you do it, or that little movie will help you do it. And that's in the free portion of the app. That's in the download. You don't have to buy the Eclipse data set to play with that.